Who likes to eat? I like to eat. I love to eat. I eat all the time. Bones, you like to eat? Bones, you're looking a little thin there. I think you could eat more. Yeah, Bones definitely needs to eat more. Today we're going to start talking about feeding relationships. We've been talking about food chains, and we've been talking about food webs and how energy moves through a food chain. But a more realistic way of looking at how energy flows through an ecosystem is to look at the relationships in a food web, because organisms like to eat lots of different foods, just not one kind of food. Today we're going to break that down a little further to see what are the actual relationships of organisms using each other for energy by eating them. That is basically what it comes down to. So we're going to take a look at how the producers, consumers, and decomposers, what their relationship is, okay, and how this energy flow gets moved around even more in the environment. So basically, remember, producers make the food, consumers eat the food, then the consumers die, and our bodies are broken down by decomposers to return our nutrients back to the soil so the producers can continue to make food. Okay. Again, I've brought it up in past videos. The Lion King, great movie. Go watch it. Circle of Life explains it all in 2 seconds. It's fantastic. So we're going to take a look at how our producers, our plants, give energy to our consumers, okay, and then we die, and how decomposers return our energy to the ground. What are the relationships that are happening in the environment? Let's take a look. It's exciting. Okay, decomposer first. This is one that we haven't really talked about too much yet. A decomposer uses the energy of dead organisms for food. It breaks them down into recycled materials. So fungi and bacteria, mushrooms, those are all decomposers. Okay, they take the nutrients that is left over from a dead organism and they break it down and return it to the soil in order for more plant life to grow. Okay, they are decomposing the dead organism. All right, decomposer. All right, so that's what they do. That is their job. That is their niche in the environment. And you've probably seen mushrooms growing out of trees before and stuff like that. So this is what helps us return our bodies back into the earth in order for more plant life to grow. It's the circle of life. Again, watch The Lion King. Now, some other feeding relationships that are out there. Predator-prey relationships. A predator is a carnivore that kills for its food. Okay? Carnivores indirectly consume energy from their producers. So producer has a herbivore eat it, now a predator or a carnivore eats that. And so they're getting their energy originally from the sun, then it goes to a producer, then it goes to a primary consumer, and now your predator is eating it. Now, what does a predator eat? They eat their prey. Okay, so predators eat prey. So we can see some lions here that are eating something. I'm not exactly 100% sure what they're eating. It looks kind of like a buffalo. So they are the predators, and the buffalo is the prey. We have a hawk here eating, it looks like a bass or some sort of fish. The hawk or eagle is the predator. The fish is the prey. We have a lion down here, or a cheetah, chasing an antelope. The cheetah or the lion here is I think it's cheetah, is the predator chasing the antelope, which is the prey. We have a wolf here chasing a raccoon. He is the predator. The raccoon is the prey. So predators hunt and kill prey for its food, which really means predators hunt prey in order to gain energy. Okay, so this is one type of feeding relationship. We also have something called scavengers. Scavengers are different than decomposers. Scavengers feed upon organisms that other organisms have already killed. Okay, so this is not bacteria or fungi that are decomposing an organism. These are just organisms that hang around and wait for the predators who have killed their prey to leave, and then they go get the scraps. It's like a hyena. Again, in The Lion King, go watch it. Hyenas or vultures. Okay, you often see in stories depicted in English class that vultures are flying around dead organisms and waiting for the predators to clear out, and then they swoop in and they start picking off the remains. So these are what's known as scavengers. Okay, scavengers eat already dead animals in order to gain their energy. We also have things called parasites. Okay, we have a tick here, a mosquito here, a slug, a tapeworm. All right, These are all organisms that get their energy from harming a host. Okay? So a tick will land on you and start biting you and taking in your blood, and it's in fact harming you. Okay? Eventually, the host can become very sick and die. Okay? If a parasite is allowed to continue to feed off of it. A tapeworm here, all right, can be very long. And what happens is it will attach itself inside the intestine of a person. And instead of the energy that the person is getting from their food going to them, the energy will be taken by the tapeworm. And the tapeworm will actually start to grow while it's right inside the person. Pretty nasty looking thing. And then they have to pull it out. And it looks something like this. So a parasite is an organism that feeds off a host and harms the host that they are feeding off of. Okay, that's what parasitism is. One organism is benefited, the parasite. One organism is harmed, that's the host. Now we also have something called mutualism. Mutualism is when two organisms are helping each other out in a mutual way. We are mutually agreeing to help each other. Okay, so now this looks scary over here. The alligator with a bird inside of its mouth. Have no fear. They're both helping each other. The bird is kind of like a dentist. The bird is going in and cleaning the alligator's teeth. It's picking out all the scraps in order to make the alligator feel better. So now, could the alligator chomp on the bird if he wanted to? Yes, but he's not going to. The bird is helping the alligator by cleaning his teeth, like the dentist. In turn, the alligator is protecting the bird while he eats. All right, from other predators around that may want the bird, maybe a snake or something like that. So while the bird is playing dentist, okay, the alligator is going to protect the bird. Same thing is happening over here with the hippo. Okay, we've got a couple birds on top of the hippo here. Okay, now hippos are one of the most territorial, violent organisms on the planet. If you go near them, they will attack you. These birds aren't being attacked. Because what they're doing is they're giving the hippo a shower. They're cleaning the hippo. They're picking off all the bugs and whatever dead skin and everything that's on top of the hippo that the hippo can't get to clean himself. So they're cleaning the hippo for him. The hippo, in turn, is keeping the bird safe by not letting any predators go around it. So butterfly and plants. We haven't talked about plants very much lately. We've been talking a lot more about animals. So we have a butterfly here, and the butterfly is eating the nectar for food out of the plant. In turn, pollen gets stuck on the bottom of the butterfly, and when the butterfly goes from plant to plant, it pollinates other flowers for this specific type of plant, of specific type of a flower. So you can see the butterfly gets helped because it gets to eat something, and the flower gets helped because the butterfly goes and pollinates other flowers for it. This is what's known as mutualism. Two organisms helping each other out. Pretty cool. Then we come to something called commensalism. Now, commensalism means that one organism is helped or benefited while the other organism isn't really affected at all. Okay? They're just kind of there. So we can see these ducks around the cows. Now, the cows are herbivores. Cows don't want to eat the ducks at all, or the birds, or whatever they are over there. So they just kind of hang out around the cows. So the birds or the ducks are being helped because there's no predators of the birds that are going to go near the cows because they're scared of the cows, and the cows just kind of ignore them. All right. Same thing happens here with the sharks and the baby sharks. They're just hanging out around Mama Shark. Mama Shark doesn't really care if they're there or not, but they're being safe. Now here, this whale fin, do you see all this white stuff on here? Those are barnacles. Okay. What happens is barnacles need to be able to move through water in order to survive. Thing is, barnacles can't move on their own. So they end up attaching themselves to the bottom of boats and sometimes to the fin or tail of a whale. And what they do is they just sit there. They attach. The whale doesn't care that they're there. It doesn't affect the whale. They're not heavy. Doesn't affect the whale at all. But when the whale swims, water flows through the barnacles and they're able to live. So again, commensalism, one organism is helped and one isn't affected at all. So how do we remember all of this? Very simple way, all right? And we'll get to it in a second. But the point here is these are what's known as symbiotic relationships. Big word, symbiotic, okay? These are relationships between different species living in close association with each other. Do they help each other? Do they hurt each other? What are they doing to each other? So again, to review, parasitism is when a parasite benefits, one organism is benefited at the expense of a host. It harms the host that they are in, or that they are using, excuse me. Mutualism, both organisms are benefited. Yay. And commensalism is when one organism is benefited and one is unharmed. Now, if you can't remember the definitions, I have another very scientific way of remembering this. Very scientific. It's with smiley faces. That's it, smiley faces. So here we go. Here is our symbiotic relationship using emojis, all right, or what used to be emojis. So parasitism, one organism is benefited, one organism is harmed. So we have a smiley face and a sad face. Mutualism, both organisms are benefited, two smiley faces. Commensalism, one organism is benefited and the other is unaffected. So in the ecosystem, there are lots of different types of relationships between organisms in order to pass energy around through feeding relationships. And these are some of the relationships that we see in our environments. Hope you enjoyed learning about symbiotic relationships.